Welcome to Daily Success. Listen in on these personal conversations with today's leaders, innovators, and influencers as they discuss daily success principles, systems, and solutions. Get ready for Daily Success. Now, here's your host.
Hi, everyone. This is Tammy Patzer, and this is Daily Success Evergreen Giveaway. And what I'm really excited about is I'm with Dawn C. Meyer, and I'm going to give you some information right away about her because you can get in contact with her via email at Dawn, DAWN, at IamPurpleDawn.com. But this is the thing about Dawn that I think is so interesting. So, you know how people say it's not rocket science, but it is. With Dawn Meyer, she's actually a NASA rocket scientist. And she helped put people into space, but now people actually hire Dawn to launch them or blast them into their brightest future. So I just think that you're the coolest person and you love purple and all of these things about you. And I've gotten to know you over the years. And it's so funny because I met Dawn, we did an interview, and we probably talked now maybe 4 or 5 times in different interviews. But the first time, of course, we did not know one another. So, it was more formal. So I'm looking forward to sharing today. So I'm going to just read her bio just so that you get the concept of who Dawn C. Meyer is. So again, how people say it isn't rocket science. Sometimes it is. Rocket science is all about seeing the possibilities that others don't see. And Dawn was, like I said, a NASA rocket scientist. And then today, after 28 years of mastering rocket science and seeing the things that most people don't see, Dawn serves people by assisting them to be aware of what is preventing them from really having joy, prosperity, and living the life they love to live. And she does that through her workshops, speaking, private coaching. And here's the cool thing about Dawn. She juxtaposes the rocket science and magic together, and it really helps create daily success. And that's why I invited her to be part of Daily Success. And her giveaway is all about how to launch your brilliance. So first of all, Dawn, welcome, and tell me who you help.
So mostly I help people who are looking for changes in their life. They've reached some sort of plateau they think they can't get beyond, or they're having difficulty moving beyond. They're maybe stuck in some sort of pattern in their life that just keeps repeating again and again. Or they're simply looking for something that's different. I know when I left the space program, I wanted something different. And I started meditating on what would I like to be when I grow up, because I'd been there for 28 years, most of my life. And so I help people to get to that point and beyond it, to start looking at what it is they would truly like to have in their lives and what will it take to get there.
Well, I know you really helped me because we did something, I think it was called bars or something, whatever it was.
Yes.
I left that 20-minute session and I felt like a little girl stomping in mud puddles. That was the level of joy I felt. And I just thought, I still remember that. And every time I think about it, it just makes me go back again. Stomping in mud puddles as a little kid was something I really loved to do. So to me, that's the essence of that pure joy, that child joy that we can feel. So when people, why do they seek you out? And what is the magic of your expert ability? I know that's two questions.
So they seek me out when they're looking for change, when they're stuck and they don't know how to get to that next level. They think there's this barrier, and people think, oh, I've got to muscle through the barrier, I've got to beat my way through it. And I say, you know, what happens if you take a couple side steps and you walk around it? Or maybe you go over it or dissolve it and go through it. What if you didn't have to fight so hard to get there, to get past it? Or maybe it doesn't even exist at all. Maybe it's really somebody else's barrier that you're trying to fight with them, and you can't get through it because it's not yours. So I help people to start looking at those other possibilities that they're not seeing because they've decided that things have to look a certain way, or they've always dealt with something a certain way. And then they discover that there are other ways to live. There are other possibilities, there are other choices, there are other things they could be doing with their lives. And that's the magic that I provide, is helping them look for those possibilities, helping them see that they've decided this is impossible, and yet maybe it's not. Or maybe it just looks a little bit different than what they thought it would, so therefore they think they never got there, but really they're only like, a quarter of an inch over to the side, and we can get them back over. So that's my magic.
It makes me think about it. I've heard it before about, again, you are a rocket scientist. And I've heard the analogy of like the path like to the moon, and that it's constantly being adjusted because, of whatever's going on. But that obviously if you're off by just that 1 degree, you're not going to get to the moon. And I think that's the interesting thing about what you just said. Sometimes we put up these obstacles and blocks, or we only look at something from that one perspective. And you come in and you say, hey, what about this? What about that? Look at it from this point of view. And even like in my experience with you, you help me to, like you said, see around something, see through something, and then be able to go, oh, if I only need to do this, like you said, maybe I just need to step over it. Maybe I need to jump over it. Maybe I need to just go through it because it really isn't a solid block. It's just something that you have to do. So what would you say are one or two of the misconceptions people have about how the work that you do and offer?
Well, a lot of times people will tell me things like, oh, I don't have anything wrong. I don't have anything that I need to work on. I'm not stuck. I don't have any limitations. And I'll say, great. Do you have everything that you really like to have in your life? Is it exactly the way you'd like it to be? So they think, oh, well, there are things I'd like to change. I said, okay, then that's what we're looking for, is what is it that you'd like to change, and how do you get there? And then people will say things like, how many sessions is it going to take, and how much is it going to be? And I say, well, I can't tell you exactly how many sessions. Generally, people start seeing changes right away, and to really get moving, it takes them 3 or more. And investing in you is worth it, because if you don't invest now, if you don't start making changes now, you'll be the same place next year. And is that what you'd really like to be and have? I mean, I assume when you say you want change that you're serious, that you'd like to change what's going on in your life. And when you ask for that, you have to be willing to invest what it's going to take to make changes. Sometimes it's really easy, and sometimes it's a little more difficult, because sometimes you have to unlearn the things you've learned up to now in order to get to something different.
I
So
hear that.
I know, I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. What can I say?
So often on our way to success, it's funny because the other day I was interviewed and somebody said they asked me about my path to success. I had to laugh because, if you think about it, your path to success is not a straight line, and that took a couple of minutes. It's a lifetime of ups and downs and all arounds and, backwards and forwards. So tell me more, how in the world did a NASA rocket scientist go into becoming a possibilities expert?
Well, rocket science is all about seeing those possibilities that not everybody sees. So to me, it made perfect sense. When I was a little girl, I wanted to either be an astronaut or somebody could heal people with their hands because I had seen that done in science fiction movies. So the two of them really didn't seem that dissimilar to me. Because again, rocket science is seeing those other possibilities. And even though I haven't been on the moon yet, I did work on the space shuttle program for over 28 years. So I was able to be part of that. And then to heal people with my hands, that's what I do now. I heal people with my hands and with my words and with what I do. So I've done a little of both of my dreams. And I really have never seen that they're that different from each other because I help people to see those possibilities now. And if it's energy work or if it's physical body work or whatever it is that they require to start making those changes, then that's where we go.
I'm chuckling to myself because I'm looking at you talk and I get the vision from Star Trek. If you remember Star Trek, Captain Kirk, and he was like talking to the Romulan Empire. And I used to think, wow, how cool would it be if we could communicate like they were on Star Trek? And here we are, we're doing exactly what we saw back in the late 60s and early 70s, with Star Trek. And it's funny because you actually realized more than most people, you wanted to go to the moon. You didn't quite make it yourself, but yet you became a NASA rocket scientist. And that's pretty darn cool, when you think about it. And I just love the fact that we're able to, speak over Zoom where we can see each other. So when you work with people, do you have to physically be with them in the same room, or can you work with them online the way that we're communicating now?
I can work with them either way. A lot of my coaching is done either Zoom or Skype or simply over the phone because it's energy. So energetically, I can reach out to you and start assisting you to make those changes that you need to make through energy. And it also helps me to tap into what's going on with you so that we can start following what it is that's coming up for you and start addressing that. So when I work with people, that's how I do it. Now, I can also work with you physically, like when I worked with you, it was in person. And then we can change later to do it remotely via Zoom or Skype or on the phone.
I really like that. And again, I think the key words there were it's energy. And that's something that sometimes people have a hard time wrapping their mind around, that we don't have to be like within 2 feet of one another. We can be miles away. We could be around the globe away and still connect on that energetic level. And I think that's really important. So what really made you want to do this type of work after you'd been in NASA for all those years? And 28 years, if you think about it, that's a long time. That's a long career. And then to move, from literally being a rocket scientist to being an energy worker. And I get that they're actually very much connected, but can you pinpoint, like, besides the fact that you wanted to heal, like, and be an astronaut, what else about doing this work really attracted you?
Well, the actual work itself, I had started years before that. When I left the space program, it was 2011, and probably 20 years before that ish, I had started doing some of the energy work. Um, After I had gotten divorced, I was looking for some way to have more peace in my life, and I started out with yoga. And then from yoga, I discovered these classes that I could take in Reiki and other energy healing techniques. And I started down that, and I thought, this is what I've been looking for. This is the healing with my hands. And I almost 10, 10 years before or 12 years before I actually did leave the space program, I almost left it to do the energy work before that. And yet I kept getting the calling that I needed to stay with the space program. So there was something that required me to be there. And then later, when the program was over and I chose to not stay for the follow-on program, the energy healing called to me and said, okay, it's time for you to do this now. So I was just following what the, God source universe was telling me was where I needed to be. Because that's what it's about. It's about following that energy. Like I said, everything's energy. And it's asking, what's my next step that usually takes me where I need to go.
I think that's a really important point, especially coming from the concept of what I'm really involved in is in daily success, is listening to your inner guidance system. Because so many people, we look outside of ourselves for our success, and you just said it, it's in you, and you have to listen to what's going on. Like you said, I could have left, 10 years earlier, but there was something that said, no, wait. And then when it was time, you got the direct information. Okay, now's the time, because of whatever growth factor or development. Who knows why sometimes it's like the answer is no, not now. and it's never really no, but it's no, not right now. And I think that sometimes we have to learn how to accept that. And you also, besides working one-on-one with people and working in groups, do you also teach some of what you are doing with energy?
Yes, I teach classes. So I teach energy healing classes, the bars like you talked about, and Reiki, and then some other techniques that I've learned along the way. And I also do workshops with different concepts and helping people to start moving beyond where they think they can go and help them really to get to that other side of that barrier they think they can't get past. So yeah, I teach all sorts of different things. Some of them I do online, some of them I do in person. And you can check out my website under classes, and I've got a number of them listed that I teach.
So what is your website?
I am, as in IAM, purpledawn.com.
Oh, everyone, I just want to give you a cute little side story about Purple Dawn. The other day, you want to go follow her on Facebook, because she does some things that everybody should be doing for daily success. But you had the cutest post showing that your big toes were poking out of your purple socks. And I
Yeah.
just thought that was so cute, because it brought back those memories of me. I was notorious for wearing big holes in my socks, and of course, it's just an interesting aside that just says, "Hey, we're all human." But of course, Purple Dawn has purple socks.
Of
So
course.
your giveaway is called "Launch into Your Brilliance." And it's all about uncovering and revealing to yourself and others your talents and gifts that make you truly who you are. So I think that is just a fabulous gift. Of all the things that your launch into your brilliance can do for you, is there one thing that you think is like really important that it'll help you to uncover about yourself?
I think one of the big things is about letting go of judging yourself, because we spend so much time judging ourselves, and we judge ourselves much harsher usually than we judge anybody else in the world. And if we can start letting go of that, it can really make a big shift, because it's all about, since I said launch into your brilliance, it's about realizing who you are and how you're preventing yourself from being everything you can be. Because the world needs you to be so much more quite often than what you're being. And if you can start letting go of what you've decided and what you've judged is the appropriate you, and really step into the you that you can be, it's a huge difference. Because like if I had stayed with the space program and never stepped into the energy healing, my whole life would be completely different, and so would the world. Because there are people that I've helped, they've really been able to step out and start doing the things they wanted to do. And I will say, with some humility, but not necessarily all humility, that I was able to help them to do that. And that's what charges me, that's what fuels me to keep moving forward, is knowing that I'm creating those ripples in life that help other people, who then help other people, who then help other people, and it just keeps moving out, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to make those changes.
Well, I am certainly one of the people that you've made a difference in my life. So I'll just put that out there that, again, you opened up some doors for me. And one of them was to experience that childlike joy. And that's really big stuff. When you start to look at your life as a whole, and if you can actually experience joy, wow, that's really big. And you certainly are somebody who can open the doors for others for daily success. And you're actually probably one of the people who inspired me to keep pushing for my Daily Success Institute, my Daily Success programs, just because I could see that I wanted to create a place where people could come and find the tools and some guidance about how to create a better life for themselves and their families on a daily basis, and so you're certainly one of those people. So, Dawn, thank you so much. And everyone, remember, get your free gift, Launch into Your Brilliance, from Dawn C. Meyer. Email her at dawn@iampurpledawn.com. And of course, go to iampurpledawn.com and you can find out more about Dawn and her classes and her programs. But start with this free gift, because it's going to open doors for you and help you to get started on that journey to launch into your brilliance. So thank you so much.
I was just going to say, if you'd like to get to it directly, it's iampurpledawn.com/launch-brilliance.
Great. Thanks, everyone. And again, I am Purple Dawn, and I am Tammy Patzer. And go make it a beautiful day.
You've been listening to Daily Success. Tune in again and subscribe. Never miss a moment of daily success.